We're living in a world right now that is wild, is crazy, is losing it. It seems like out there everybody is just in this whirlwind of madness, and that people are losing their shit. And it's no surprise, right? For a very, very long time, we as human beings, as a collective, have been walking the wrong path. We've been doing things that are not in alignment with what our hearts truly desire, with what our soul is calling us to do, with what we know is the right or wrong thing to do. We are not making that clear decision. We're not distinguishing the difference between those rights and wrongs. And as a result, we're walking this path of chaos, of destruction, of mayhem, of madness. Which is why it is so, so important to take care of yourself first. Because as we, as a collective, walk this wild path, this path in which we are taking out so many things, where we are causing so much destruction, and I know that many of you have your hearts in the right place. I know that many of you really, really care. And I know that many of you are working really hard to stand up to what is going on. Because you see, in this moment now, where the heat just got turned up, we just went from 0 to 10. Well, actually not 0 to 10, we were already on 90, but we went from 90 to 1,000, like overnight it seems, since this pandemic has arisen. And these last few months, you have seen so much craziness unfold before your eyes. But that is just the icing on the cake, because you know that things have been out of whack for a very long time. As human beings, we have a history that we all feel, that is ingrained in the DNA and makeup of every single one of us. We all have it in us. We have this history of bloodshed, of fighting, of war. And now we are in this critical moment where the planet is saying no more. You see, what's happening right now isn't just by design from some so-called powers that be that are attempting to control us as we go into this new age, the age of Aquarius. As this happens, they are turning up the volume. They are clamping down, coming up with bogus nonsense after bullshit rule, one after another. But it's been like this for a long time. This isn't that new. It's just that now it's their end game, which I'm happy about. Because you see, when evil shows up at its fullest, at its most vile and grotesque, that means that love will show up at its fullest, at its most beautiful and magnificent. So I'm excited, I'm glad that this is happening, because it is activating many of us around the world right now. We are being switched on. We are recognizing that it is time to show up. It is time to take care not just of our brethren, not just of our fellow earthlings, but of ourselves. You see, when we take care of ourselves first, everything changes. And so I know that at this moment, it is very easy to feel helpless, to feel like there's nothing that you can do. But there's only one thing you need to do. And that is to put on your own oxygen mask first, right? You understand the analogy. You know that it's no good trying to help other people when you're not helping yourself, right? If you're running on empty, how can you best serve somebody? If you're trying to be the best mother that you can be, then how can you do that at your fullest capacity? If you're running on empty, if you're exhausted, if you're being fueled by Diet Cokes and toast, if you're indoors all day, if you don't have a minute or a second to yourself, how can you show up as the greatest version of yourself for your children when you're low down here? How can you show up as a great employer? You're running a business, you're an entrepreneur. You've got these incredible creative ideas. How do you expect to show up and give the very best of yourself? Be as creative as you know you are, as alive and as vibrant as you know you can be. How can you do that if you don't take care of yourself first by putting your own oxygen mask on before you do anything else?